Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jared Johnson. I'm joined by the Mighty Joe Yeager. Well, Mighty Joe, Texas Tech won its 7th straight with a 14-point victory here at the USA over Baylor on Tuesday. That's coming off that dramatic, highly entertaining overtime victory at Houston on Saturday. Doesn't get a whole lot easier. Now you got Arizona there this Saturday night, late night. Mighty Joe, first off, before we go into the Arizona game, what's your takeaway from that heroic victory in Houston, and then doubling down and coming back and handling a really, as you like to say, salty Baylor squad here at the USA?
You know what it reminds me of a little bit, this just occurred to me this morning, it's like the 2008 Texas Tech football team beat number one Texas, and then instead of having that letdown, came back and beat
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, but Oklahoma State was like number 12 in the country or something like that, and they pounded.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was that sort of the ability to record an extremely tough emotional win and then come back and sustain it.
Yeah.
2 games in a row. That's, I mean, to me, that indicates you may have something a little bit special. And so that's kind of what springs to mind for me on that. And yeah, it was very impressive.
I think I want to give some love. I did after the Houston game, but guys like assistant coach Jeff Linder, who stepped in did a great job. Emily Elaho stepped in for JT, who was kicked out, and then Federico was in foul trouble and kind of ineffective for a lot of the Houston game. Elaho played some really good defense, so I was really impressed by what he did. But you know, the guy who seems to be the rock too, and you can talk on all this, is Chance McMillian. Yeah. He really does seem to be the rock of this team.
He's just he's improved dramatically over what he was last year.
Yeah,
and he was pretty good last year, you know. But he's a legitimate right now. I think all Big 12 first team player, and that's saying something at this point. But I think he's probably your most consistent good player.
Yeah,
that's what maybe separates him from anybody else on the roster. Is he's going to give it to you every single night. And now, in the case of like the JT Toppin, he's had injury problems, and that's affected him there. But everybody else is a little bit up and down, but he's all reliable. Chance McMillian, and on top of that, just an extremely talented basketball player, can do a lot of things on the offensive end, and is a scrapper.
Yeah,
I mean, he's probably pound for pound the toughest guy on the team. I would say. The way he gets on the glass, goes in there with the tall timber, sticks his head in there, doesn't mind if he gets bashed around a little bit.
Right.
He's going to go in there and claw and scrap for those rebounds, and so yeah, I like him in that regard too.
Yeah, that's something that stood out to me like early on in Big 12 play is what you said, like him going down there and scrapping with some of the big guys, especially on the defensive boards. He's helped out a lot. He's not one of your bigger guys. And then another thing that stands out to me about him is he's just always available. He plays, knock on wood, he plays every game, you know, while a lot of guys have, you know, turned ankle here or some kind of injury. Even Elijah Hawkins and Christian Anderson to start the season were out, you know. They've been in there, I think, every game since that, you know, early part. But Chance has been, I mean, he's been available. I think he's played in every game. So he's the kind of dude that no matter how many shots he gets, I want him to take more. And that's saying a lot on this team that features so many good offensive players. And those 3 consecutive 3-pointers on possessions in a row, and the Raider power after Federico, after that, and then Federico got that alley-oop jam. That sequence of 4 possessions in a row and all that with the atmosphere here at the UC was something to behold. It's one of my favorite moments of Tech basketball in some time.
Yeah, spectacular. I mean, the guy is absolutely an elite shooter. You give him a good look, which they were doing there. It's target practice.
Yeah.
And you cannot do that. Arizona, who Texas Tech is going to be playing, is going to mark him very, very hard. He's got to be at the top of your scouting report at this point. You just cannot allow him to get loose on the perimeter. Get like a secondary transition sort of situation where somebody just kind of kicks the ball back out as the offense is setting up. That's how he got that third 3. You know, he's just kind of dragging along the perimeter. And Darian maybe who it was kind of just scooped back out to him before the defense even got set up, bombs away. So you gotta cross the midcourt line, man. You better be aware of it.
The problem with that, with marking him, before you get to Arizona after this, is you got so many other guys who could shoot. I mean, Kerwin Walton just made 4 threes in that Houston game. You got to be aware of him. Obviously, Elijah Hawkins is is very capable of
Yes.
knocking down 2 or 3. Christian Anderson's a very good shooter. Darian Williams, I mean, you can't leave him open. Kevin Overton as well. So even JT has stepped out and made some threes, and then you got to devote so much of your attention to him on the block and around the paint as well. So that and the improved defense has a lot to do with this 7-game winning streak. They take that 7-game winning streak and 8 of 9 wins in the Big 12 to Arizona. The game's been pushed back. The tip-off time, it's on ESPN, but which is probably why it's being pushed back to 9:30 Central Time. Arizona has played really well, except for when they came here and Tech won by 16. Obviously, they have a star in Caleb Love, but good pieces. It's Wildcat basketball. I wouldn't say this is one of their amazing teams, but a very good team and a team you got to beat if you want to win a Big 12 title. I think sweeping them would be in your, needless to say, in your best interest.
Yes, I believe they've won 13 of the last 14. The only loss being by 16 to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Wow. That should tell you something right there. I mean, that win over Arizona is almost as impressive as the win at Houston. I mean, it's just, to beat them by that margin, they're cleaning everybody else's clock.
Yeah.
Tech is the one that jumps in there and just really pounds them pretty good. But this is going to be the toughest road environment that Tech has seen so far. That place is going to be absolutely jacked up. It's going to be like the USA for a high-level game. Same sort of environment. What concerns me about Arizona mainly is their defense. Believe it or not, they held Tech to 70 points in that earlier game in Lubbock, which is a pretty good defensive result. You hold Tech to 70 in the USA, you're doing a pretty good job there. So. And I think defensively, Arizona is just a pretty tough team. And, all of that emotion and all of the frenzy in the crowd, that often translates to defensive effort.
Yeah.
That's where you really see it come out. So I expect Arizona to come out and deliver a defensive punch early in this game. And it's up to Texas Tech to withstand that and to sort of match that with their defense on the other end, so you don't let them get away if you're not scoring a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a really big key. Maintain contact early in the game, sort of get the crowd to simmer down a little bit.
Simmer down, crowd.
Yeah, simmer them down, and then it's on. If it's still a really close game, say 13, 14 minutes in, then I like Texas Tech's odds. But if they get behind 14, 15 early, have to scrap and claw their way back, then it's going to be an uphill struggle.
All right, there it is. Mighty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.